天呐，天呐，天呐，天呐，好惨哦！天呐，天呐，天呐，天呐！
It began with a sound no one could ignore, a deep, violent crack that rolled across the valley. Then the dam gave way. A wall of water exploded outward, roaring like 1,000 storms. Concrete split apart. Steel twisted like paper. The river broke free, tearing through everything in its path. In seconds, homes vanished, roads disappeared. People ran for higher ground. But the water was faster. From the air, it looked like a dark wave swallowing the land. From the ground, it felt like the end. This wasn't just flooding, it was destruction, pure and unstoppable. And for millions in its path, it was only the beginning. The rain had been relentless for days, each drop feeding the swelling rivers, pushing them past their limits. Warnings flashed across screens, but the water kept rising, past the banks, past the roads, past every mark thought to be safe. The dam strained under the weight. Its walls groaned. The overflow came sudden, violent, unstoppable. The river burst into the open, surging through villages and fields. Cars lifted like toys. Trees ripped from the ground. Bridges trembled. Roads cracked. Whole neighborhoods vanished in minutes. This was not a storm passing by. It was a force rewriting the land, and nothing in its path would remain the same. The first bridge collapsed with a thunderous crack. Steel cables snapped, whipping through the air. Concrete pillars shattered, falling into the raging current below. Vehicles mid-crossing were swept away in seconds. Some disappeared instantly, others carried downstream, smashing into debris. Then another bridge gave way, and another. Highways vanished under churning water. Tunnels filled in minutes, trapping anything inside. Transport across the region collapsed. Rescue teams stranded. Supplies cut off. It wasn't just metal and stone breaking apart. It was the lifelines of entire cities severed in an afternoon. The river had not just claimed the land, it had broken the connections that held it together. The city was no longer a city. It was a vast moving sea.
Stone and soil.
Streets vanished beneath swirling brown water. Markets, schools, and homes sank in silence. Buses drifted sideways. Power lines hissed, then fell. Windows burst as water forced its way inside. People climbed to rooftops, waving frantically for help. Some clung to street signs, their feet swallowed by the current. From above, it looked still a quiet, endless lake. But on the ground, it was chaos. Every hour, the water rose higher. Every minute, escape routes disappeared. This was not a place to live anymore. It was a trap, and the flood was closing in. In the mountains, safety turned to terror. Days of relentless rain had soaked the soil, loosening its grip. Then the earth gave way. A deep roar shook the valleys as entire hillsides collapsed. Walls of mud, rock, and broken trees crashed down. Homes perched on ridges vanished in seconds. Roads disappeared under tons of debris. Rescue teams couldn't reach the trapped. Paths were buried, bridges gone, helicopters hovered, but there was nowhere to land. Each landslide triggered another, a chain of destruction racing downhill. The mountains, once a refuge, had become a weapon, and for those in their shadow, there was no safe ground left to stand on. The lights went out first, then the phones went silent. In an instant, millions were cut off from the outside world. No calls, no messages, no updates, just static on radios and darkness in every home. Families couldn't reach each other. Rescue teams couldn't coordinate. Towns vanished, not underwater, but into isolation. At night, the silence was crushing. Only the roar of water and the pounding of rain filled the air. In disasters, isolation is its own kind of danger, because when no one can hear you, hope starts to fade. The flood took more than roads and homes. It took connection, and with it, the comfort that help might be on the way. They came in boats, rafts, and helicopters. Through flooded streets and collapsing neighborhoods, they searched for life. Children were lifted from rooftops. The elderly carried through waist-deep water. Pets wrapped in blankets passed from one rescuer to another. Every second mattered. The current was strong, the rain relentless. One wrong step could sweep both rescuer and victim away. Still, they pushed forward. Firefighters, soldiers, volunteers, faces soaked, hands numb, hearts pounding. Each cry answered, each life saved. Small victories against overwhelming odds. In the middle of destruction, courage moved quietly. One pull, one breath, one human at a time. The flood didn't just destroy it exposed. Cracks in the dam's maintenance, bridges left to weaken, drainage systems clogged for years. Warnings had come, but too late. Evacuation plans were unclear. Resources spread too thin. Locals had raised concerns. Officials had promised safety. But when the waters came, the promises washed away. This was not only a failure of infrastructure, it was a failure of preparation. Now, as the mud dries and the damage is counted, anger rises with it. Who knew who ignored the signs and how many lives were lost because action came too late? These questions can't be buried, not this time. When the waters pulled back, they left a wasteland. Homes reduced to shattered frames, schools stripped to bare walls, fields buried under mud, crops rotting in the sun. Families crowded into shelters, clutching what little they'd saved. Volunteers handed out food, water, and blankets, small comforts in the face of ruin. Rebuilding would take months, years, roads still broken, power unreliable, supplies running thin. But the hardest work wasn't laying bricks. It was restoring trust. Trust that safety could return, that mistakes wouldn't repeat. Because without that, every dark cloud on the horizon will bring the same fear that it's all about to happen again. This disaster will not be the last. The rivers will rise again. The storms will return. The ground will shift without warning. The question is, will we be ready? Preparation cannot begin after the siren sound. It must start now. Stronger dams, reinforced bridges, evacuation plans that reach every home. Nature will not wait. It will not forgive hesitation. If we fail again, the price will not just be in homes, it will be in lives, somewhere beyond the horizon. The next storm is already forming, and when it comes, the choice will be clear: stand ready or be swept away.